Hey guys, let me show you what it's like on the green tour in Cappadocia. So I booked the tour with my hotel. It was around 50 euros and the pickup time was between 9:45 to 10 a.m. They pick you up at the hotel. So I'm currently here waiting to be picked up. Let's go! So I've been picked up. So we are at our first stop, which is the Göreme Panoramic Viewpoint. Here you can see a big panoramic view of Göreme city, which is apparently a UNESCO site. So after our first stop, this is now our next stop. We're here in Pidgeon Valley. So it's called Pidgeon Valley because you can see a lot of the pigeon holes on the fairy chimneys. So even here you see so many pigeons.
Okay,
Guys, there's a camel. And just like any tour group, our next stop is a jewelry store. So one thing I learned here is that they have a special stone in Turkey called the Zultanite. And what's special about it is that it actually changes color based on the light that's being directed at it. So it can change color from like red, orange, brown, green, based on whatever light that it refracts. One thing I'm glad about this is that at least I learned something. They were actually quite informative about the different stones that they have, and they weren't actively like pushing sales onto you, which I'm very happy about. So we are actually touring with Tourisab Travel Agency. So our next stop is the Derinkuyu underground city. This is the largest underground city in the world, and it's also a UNESCO heritage site. Currently there are 8 floors to explore, but they said these 8 floors represent only 8% of the entire underground city. Fun fact, even though it's called an underground city, apparently it's used more of a shelter for people to run away from the pagans. So we are now inside the underground city. Have to watch your head. So this here is the kitchen area. You can see like there's black parts on the wall from the smoke. There's a ventilation shaft right here. So in this area they actually make wine. But going in, such a tiny space. So this is the food storage area, and you can see a deep well as well for water. So they said to use your flashlight for this. We're entering a tunnel that will lead to a millstone. If you're claustrophobic, you may not want to be in this underground city. I'm now crawling this hole. So this here is where they put the light before. This here is the ventilation shaft. This here is the ancient stairs. So this particular tunnel is 105 steps. It's the longest one in the underground city. So the last tunnel is 105 steps down, and we're under 55 meters below. So it's not for someone who can't walk the stairs or claustrophobic. Apparently there's a underground city grave you can check out, which is pitch dark. Trying to see the grave. So here is the barn area. So you can see like This is where they put the food for the animals. This is the hole they use to tie the rope for the animals. So this is a grinder where guys, we finally made it. We're at the exit. So this is the city we're in, Derinkuyu. And apparently it means deep well. It's a good representation to denote the underground city because it's like literally like a deep well. So this is a ticket. It normally costs 300 lira. So we are hiking down the Ihlara Valley. The Ihlara Valley is apparently the biggest canyon in the world, where people are living in it before. Now going through this river. Guys, it is time for lunch and we're here at this wonderful restaurant right by the river. It is so beautiful. Check this out. Hey guys, so we are having lunch at Aslan restaurant. So for lunch, you get your choice of fish, which is trout, chicken, beef, meatball, and vegetarian. So I got the fish. And it was pretty decent actually, not bad for a tour lunch, and the views are amazing right by the water. So the meal comes with soup, salad, and basic dessert, which is basically fruits. Everything else is an add-on, so if you get drinks, that's extra. They also offer baklava, which is extra as well. So keep that in mind. So we are here now in Narligol, which is the Nar Crater Lake. So this lake is also called a tectonic lake, and what's unique is it was actually created by an asteroid that hit that piece of land right there, and then water sources started filling up the lake with water. And they said it's around 21 meters deep, and it's very salty and muddy, so that you actually can't swim on it, and living things can't live in the water, like no fishes or anything. So we are now on our last stop, which is like a gift souvenir shop with like goods and sweets.
Cappadocia, my friend. This is especially for this shop.
You want the whole thing? No.
Cappadocia coffee.
But even too much of it can cause.
Exactly. Daily 10.
Hey guys, so I just got back from the green tour. Overall, it took around 8 hours from pick up to drop off. So I was picked up at around 9:40 a.m. and I just got dropped off at around 5:30 p.m. Overall, such a fun tour. Highly recommend doing it, especially since the guide is really informational. So you really get to learn a lot. It's very different. Obviously, you can go to those spots on your own. But in the end, if you go on your own, you're kind of just looking at the views. And you don't really learn much unless you hire your own tour guide. It also gives you a great peace of mind so that you don't need to think of like the itinerary, the transportation, and all of that. Everything's done for you already. We ended up skipping one stop that's supposed to be in the itinerary, which is the Selime Monastery. When I asked the guide about it, they said that it's winter. It's not recommended to visit at this time. That's why we skipped it. The highlight of the trip is definitely the underground city. However, it's not for everyone. If you don't think you can climb a lot of stairs, or if you feel claustrophobic, it might not be for you. It's really a lot of walking in that underground city. Oh my gosh. There was also some hiking at the Ihlara Valley, although it wasn't that long, but keep those in mind when trying to book your green tour. As expected, we had two like shopping stops, but luckily it wasn't that bad. They were informational, they weren't pushy, which is the most important thing for me. During the demonstration, they even said like, hey, try as many as you want. If you don't want to buy anything, that's totally fine, just enjoy the food. And that's something you want to hear. Overall, I highly recommend it. I'm so glad I did it. I did see different prices when I was like walking around the city. I think the cheapest I saw was 43 euros in Göreme, but I ended up still booking at the hotel for like 50 euro. So I don't know if there's a big difference. One thing I liked with my group is it was a small group. So we were just 10 people in total. 4 were Turkish and then the rest of us were international. So it ended up feeling like a small private tour as opposed to those big bus type tours. So when picking which green tour company you're gonna go with, be sure to ask those questions like which stops are you doing. If you don't really care about the shopping, maybe ask like how many shopping stops are gonna be happening in that tour. And I think very importantly as well is how many people are in that group. Like honestly, you wouldn't want a big group. I hope this gives you an idea on what it's like at the green tour in Cappadocia. If you have any more questions, please let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this kind of content, please be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and watch this next video right here.